Hello my fellow YouTubers, it's Thursday, January 10th, 12:45 p.m. Denver time. I'm going to read from midway down this article and then I'll backtrack. But it says here, already more than 2,500 grocers and other retailers are no longer accepting food stamps because their SNAP licenses were not renewed before the shutdown started December 22nd, according to the Food Marketing Institute and Industry Group. Okay, so they're not accepting SNAP because they did not renew their licenses in time. So all these people out there just throwing out the fear-mongering videos, you know, the stores not accepting the cards because they're either gonna, I don't know what their excuse is, they're either afraid they're gonna not have the money or they don't already have it. So there's that bullshit. I mean, this is a Washington Post. I'm gonna pause this and backtrack. As I said, this is from the Washington Post. It's called Food Stamps, Rent Aid, and the Safety Net for Americans Poorest at Risk as Shutdown Drags On. The waterlogged crap, but the money's on hold. Oh, hang on. Okay, here we go again. As the partial government shutdown continues into its third week, the effects will even grow more punishing in key agencies, as if key agencies remain paralyzed beyond February 1st and into March. At risk, food on the table for millions of vulnerable households, rental assistance, and other safety net programs. This lady's at her wit's end. Trump administration under criticism. The agency would rely on a little-known budget provision to give states the money for SNAP for the month of February ahead of time. I heard that from somebody else. They will get their money for the month of February ahead of time, it says here, by January 20th to circumvent the expiration of federal appropriations. Purdue also ensured that other nutrition assistance programs, including school meals and a program for mothers and young children, would be funded through February. The the Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women and Infants, WIC, provides food, baby formula, and breastfeeding support to 7.3 million mothers and children under 5 years old. But officials could not promise that those benefits would continue if the shutdown lasts until March. The food stamp program has a $3 billion reserve, which would cover less than 2/3 of the $4.8 billion in benefits distributed each month. Beginning in March, families could experience an average cut of at least $90, which are claiming here is close to 40%, assuming the agency spreads the $1.8 billion shortfall evenly across the 19 million households receiving SNAP benefits, according to analysis by the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. USDA has not said what it would do in the event the shutdown lasts that long. When the SNAP contingency money runs out in April, the food assistance program will probably close altogether, anti-poverty advocates say. At that point, it would take Congress taking some sort of emergency action to fund the program if the government does not reopen, said Rebecca Vallis, Vice President of Poverty to Prosperity Program at the left-leaning Center for the American Progress. We will see hunger in America skyrocket. It's going to be more than just flipping a switch to make things right after this. And there's that part about the grocers that did not renew their licenses before December 22nd. Federal funding has also been shut off for cash welfare benefits. Has also been shut off for cash welfare benefits known as temporary, that's TANF, for 3.4 million of the poorest Americans, the majority of whom are children. So that's saying it's already has also been shut off. Haven't heard nothing about that, I guess. For now, states are picking up the financial burden. Well, I guess that explains that. $4.2 billion they were to have received from the Department of Health and Human Services to cover January through March. States are providing benefits by cobbling together previously unspent federal funds with state dollars. That's all. I mean, that's the money they've all been hiding and want to stick into their pockets as if the year goes by. We don't know at what point states will start to panic, and that will start to affect people relying on TANF, said blah, blah, blah. If the government does not fully reopen by February 1st, nearly 270,000 rural families who receive federal rent subsidies through the USDA would also be at risk of eviction because their landlords would no longer be paid. Said somebody from some housing coalition. These are the poorest people in the rural community: farm workers, senior citizens, disabled. An additional 2.2 million low-income households receive rental assistance could be put in jeopardy in March when funding for the Department of Housing and Urban Development Section 8 voucher 8 program runs out. So, blah, blah. State, local, public housing agencies would also stop receiving money to operate more than 1 million public housing units in March. Another 100,000 low-income tenants are already at risk because HUD did not have staff in place during the shutdown to renew at least 1,150 affordable housing contracts that expired in December. That means apartment owners won't be paid and must now dip in their reserves to cover mortgages, which they won't be able to do eventually. Well, you can read the whole thing. I'll link it. See you later. Bye.